What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Palm City Chucks. We are back with more NFL rankings for you today. Today we're doing the NFL defenses, and this one was pretty tough. I personally found that 16, like half the league, is literally just good defenses, and it's just a matter of putting them in order. And then you got some elite, and then you got some garbage. So I think this one could get interesting, but let's start at the bottom. Chuckster, what do you got at 32?
Yeah, so before I list these bottom five teams on my list here, I'm just curious, did you weigh total points against, total yards when you were looking at stuff? How did you rank these before we get going? I'm curious.
Kind of everything, but then also nothing. Like my opinion.
Okay.
Names on the roster, names on paper, that stuff. And then also I did take into account last year, but as we know, especially with defenses, they can switch real quick. Just getting new additions, a new coordinator, maybe a lot of things change. So I didn't try and read too much into last year and more of just the roster they got, the talent they got, and how I think it's going to shake out.
That's totally fair. I was just curious. Didn't even mean last year, just if you were like, well, I think this team's going to get the least points scored against or allow the least yards. But I kind of did it the same way, not really using a formula. A lot of names and opinions go into
Right.
this.
Yes.
But with that, let's get started. Number 32 team, the Jags. Not a good defense last year. They used their first round pick on Travis Hunter, and they seem very intent on not using him at corner, the position I think he should be playing in the NFL. So they're 32 for me. Titans coming in at 31. They just have a bad roster overall. They really do. There's not a lot going on for them. So I got them down at 31, only better than the Jags. 30, the Panthers. I mean, a god awful season last year for that defense. It was brutal, allowing almost 400 yards per game. I think it's going to be a little bit better this year. It's hard to be consistently that bad 2 years in a row. And they're getting Derek Brown back, which is a big win for them. So I think they'll be better, not quite as terrible. Not 400 yards a game terrible at least. 29 got the Bengals. I mean, this defense is the reason that they couldn't win games last year. Joe Burrow and Chase had seasons that were fantastic, MVP worthy, probably from Joe Burrow on a better team, but the defense consistently let them down, and they didn't do much to address any of their problems. Not much change. They're in a contract standoff with Trey Hendrickson. They seem to always have a big offseason problem that gets them off to a slow start. So I'm just really not looking. I'm not thinking there's going to be many improvements from them this year, to be honest. So I got them at 29. Coming in at 28 is the Saints. A historically good defense. Wasn't that great last year. And they're aging. They are aging. Cameron Jordan is getting old.
Yep. Tyrann
So,
Mathieu.
exactly. They're relying on a very
Even,
young pair of
yeah,
cornerbacks, Kool-Aid McKinstry being one of them. And it's just, I don't expect a lot from them this year. And their offense. One thing I considered a lot, and this is definitely true for the Saints team, is defenses can be put in bad positions because the offense is bad. And this
very
Saints
true.
team is one of them with the combination of the old guys, and I expect them to be on the field a lot with Tyler Shuck running the offense or whoever they decide to put under center. It's just going to be rough for the Saints defense. So I got them down here at 28.
All right. So at 32 for me, this is where I have the Panthers. I would say without a doubt they were the worst last year. Maybe the Bengals, that was pretty bad too. But yeah, I didn't see much improvement made this offseason, and I just kind of expect much of the same. I expect the team to be slightly better, but I think that's mostly going to come from the offensive side of the ball. So kind of a until they prove otherwise thing for me. Have them at last. Coming in at 31, I have the Dolphins here. This almost is less about the defense and more about the team as a whole. I just feel like they're collapsing. Like the locker room seems like it's in shambles, I mean, they're making trades and getting rid of guys that thought this was home, thought they were a staple. And yeah, it just seems messy. Really feel like they're going to collapse. So, um, I have them coming in at 31. At 30, I have the Bengals here. Still don't have Hendrickson. I mean, they still haven't signed him. We don't know what's happening there. And even when they had him last year, defense was abysmal. So, again, just another team didn't really take time to improve this side of the ball. They just brought back the offense, really. They brought back their stars on offense and they just want to win 90 to 80 and maybe they'll make it in the NBA one day. I don't know. But coming in at 29, this is where I have the Raiders. This might be a little low because Crosby is just that much of a game wrecker, dude. It has nothing to do with glazing the Raiders. So before you go that way,
An overcorrection.
no, that's not what it is. No, but really, it's another team that's just so far away, I feel like. And again, more so on the defensive side of the ball. They brought in Gino. Bowers was great. They got Jonty. I mean, offense could be okay. Defense, I don't think they did anything. And Crosby's great, but I mean, the guy needs some help. And then coming in at 28, I also have the Saints here. You said it very well. It's a team that I feel like always has a top end defense, top half of the league at least. But yeah, I agree. They're getting old, and at the same time, they're inexperienced. And like you also mentioned, offense plays a role here. They're going to be in bad situations. This team out of the entire league screams I'm tanking to me. So I don't think they have a problem sitting at 28 and honestly they might be upset about it. They probably want 32.
Yeah, I mean the Saints just they can't expect to do much this year, unfortunately. That's for another episode, but man, I don't expect much out of them. Um, all right, 27 through 23, let's do it. I got the Falcons sitting in at 27. Don't expect much from them, to be honest. The additions that they made to try to help them were three older or oft injured defensive linemen. So I'm not expecting much out of them, you know. So 49ers coming in at 26. They were not a good defensive unit last year overall, but Robert Saleh is coming back. So I think that's going to make a difference for them, and they're going to be a little bit better. Um, 25, that's where I got the Raiders. So I don't totally disagree with you having them that low, to be honest. You know, it's a little
No.
wishy-washy when you're within a few. It's about right. I'm just giving you a hard time. But you said it well. Max Crosby's there. He's a game wrecker.
Yep.
Um, but they got not much else. So we'll see. The offense staying out on the field for a little bit longer should definitely help them. So that should
Yeah.
be nice. Um,
Yes.
but we'll see. We'll see just how much this defense can do. Might be another team that needs to try to win 90 to 80, but doesn't quite have the offense to do it. Even though they'll be much better.
Hey, NBA's looking for expansion teams, so
Yeah,
Bengals, Raiders, what do you say?
yeah. I mean, it's going to be more like they're losing 50 to 80 for, being per
Yeah.
scale here. But just saying, they're going to try to win 90 to 80. 24. It's where I got the Jets coming in. Um, Not going to be as good as last year, I don't think. Losing CJ Mosley is huge, and going from DJ Reed to Brandon Stevens as your cornerback two, also a very big drop off. Brandon Stevens is a big reason that the Bills struggled last year, so not sure how the Jets are going to like that. We'll see, but they got a lot of good players still. And then finally, coming in at 23 is the Commanders. A team that didn't do too much to help the defense because they did surprisingly well last year. I'm not sure I see that happening 2 years in a row. So I expect just a natural return to the mean for them, to be honest. So that's why I got them at 23.
I like it. And for me at 27, this is where I have the Jags. Um, they got some guys. They do. They got some guys. I really like Hines Allen, another edge rusher who can be a game wrecker, like Lloyd. They got some guys. It's nothing crazy though. This team is years away from contending. Um, but yeah, I feel like they got some firepower, and I think they'll be a little better than most people are expecting. But yeah, I mean, we're talking 27 spots, so at 26, this is where I have the Titans, which Titans are bizarre. We talked about in the beginning how much of last year's stats we looked at, and Titans were one of the best in the league in numerous metrics as far as defense goes. But to me, it really felt like teams were literally just like, we won, let's just coast this thing out. Like, and I think the Titans played hard and that helped a lot too, but I really don't think the talent's there. I think it was kind of a fluke, if I'm being honest. But yeah, have them at 26. 25, this is where I have the Falcons. Um, yeah, the last year, and honestly, the last few years, their edge rush or their getting pressure on the quarterback has literally been like historically bad. And this year they did take two edge rushers in the first round. A lot of their ranking is going to fall on these young rookies because if they can get some pressure, there are elements of their team that I do think is serviceable. They have Terrell at corner, and they got Bates at safety. Like they have guys at levels, and as we go on, you'll notice as the teams get better and better defensively, there's always a guy at each level that's a star. And the Falcons are kind of close to that. If one or both of these edge rushers work out, they could climb a lot. But I've been wrong before. Last year, I thought the Falcons were going to have a really good defense. Even tried to get them in a few fantasy leagues. Like I was really drinking Kool-Aid. But yeah, gonna pump the brakes a little more this year. Got them at 25. At 24, this is where I have the Colts. Might be a little low for them because they stay in games. I mean, we saw abysmal quarterback play from Richardson a lot of last year, and games were tight for the most part. And also they play in a weaker division, which also helps. I mean, strength of schedule, all of that plays a role in this. So this could be a little low, but again, just looking at the talent on the roster, I'm not really convinced they're gonna, be that great defensively. At 23, I have another team that's like historically good defensively, and that's the Patriots. And I think Vrabel's gonna right the ship here, but I don't know if it's gonna be year one. They have some studs. I mean, Christian Gonzalez, I think one of the best corners in the league. That's a good building block. But there's not really many other names that jump out at me. They definitely need to just, get talent on this roster. It's a young team. A lot of guys need to prove themselves. So another team that could climb, but for now, got them at 23.
All right, not too crazy there. So my 22 through 18 to move on to is the Rams. Cornerback room is bad. Their secondary is not good. D line's pretty decent though. So
Yeah.
slightly below average here at 22 for the Rammies. 21 got the Bucks. Struggled a bit last year, but one thing for them that I think they're going to be a little better than they were is that they got Hassan Reddick, and he seems motivated. Maybe I
Yes.
think
I hope
so.
so. If he's not, I don't know what will get him going.
Yeah, so I think he seems motivated, and that could really make a difference if they can get some pressure on the quarterback from him.
Agreed.
20. So I agree. I think you have the Colts just slightly too low because I've got the Colts coming in at 20. I think the reason they're going to be slightly better is their signing of Charvarius Ward. I think that is a fantastic signing for them and going to make a very big difference. And I expect the quarterback play to improve at least a little bit, help the defense out a little bit. I mean, it's got to, right? Like Anthony Richardson or whoever the hell they decide to roll out there can't continue to be quite that bad, right? Right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, I got the Dolphins then coming in at 19, which that's a pretty big difference from what you had there.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't disagree. They definitely took some losses, and Jalen Ramsey and
Yeah.
Campbell's gone, and so
Holland.
that's Holland exactly.
They did
So
get Fitzpatrick, so
they
that's
did
kind
get
of a wash.
Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I will say I was looking at some numbers, and Fitzpatrick last year especially wasn't great. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't like great either. But he's still probably an overall improvement on top of Jalen Ramsey right now. So that's we'll see how that turns out. I expect them to be average-ish. Um, plus their cornerback room now is simply not good. I mean, when Artie Burns is in your top three cornerbacks, man, you've got a problem. You've got a problem. So
Poor guy getting
yeah,
called out like
he
that.
is getting straight call out. He's just been terrible since he was drafted out of Miami. The Steelers first, and it was just terrible. Cardinals coming in at 18. I expect them to be slightly improved. Josh Sweat, I expect him to do pretty well there. I like that. They're getting Campbell back, so I think they're going to be a little bit better than they were last year.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna talk as I fix my curly Q here. With Superman coming out recently, I don't want to confuse people. Keep my Clark Kent vibe going. Um, but at 22 for me, this is where I have the Commanders. I agree. Really did well last year considering the roster. A lot of old talent too. Like Wagner, Bobby Wagner. I mean, this guy's amazing. No doubt Hall of Famer, but like, when's it gonna slow down? Hopefully this year, says the Eagle fan. Very hopefully, in a hopeful tone. Um, at 21, I have the Niners here, which I'm just going to pump the brakes and say, I love you for where you put the Niners because I'm so sick of the hype train. They're going to be fine. They're back. All this and that. Absolutely not. I mean, they lost Greenlaw. They lost Hufanga. They lost a lot of defensive pieces. They lost Hargrave. I mean, they lost so much. And it wasn't that great last year. And the defense, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty sure stayed fairly healthy throughout the year. It was the offense that, got tormented with injuries. But yeah, defense was not great. I'm off the Niner hype entirely. Like, come on, people, let's get real. They really don't have that much going for them. I do not expect to bounce back. Um, Coming in at 20, this is where I have the Cardinals. I agree with you, Sweat. Good addition. I mean, really showed out in the Super Bowl. Um, but yeah, just a solid player. Eagles have had him for years. He's gonna get you 7, 8 sacks, so it's a good addition to have. They also drafted 6 defensive players in this draft, which I mean, who knows what they're getting from, probably the last 3 of those 6, but I mean, they're going to get some good pieces, they're going to get some help, and it was already a pretty solid defense as is. So another team here that could certainly end up being higher than 20, but got them at 20 for now. 19, this is where I have the Bucks. Um, couldn't agree more. I think Reddick is a great addition. Of all the A lot of teams I would say don't touch him, but this one really fits, and I think it was a smart move on their part. Get a guy who has a chip. I mean, he's really got to prove it all over again. He was a guy a few years back who had consistency with the likes of Miles Garrett and like TJ Watt and guys like that. So if they get that kind of Reddick back, that's huge. Another huge thing for the Bucks is Winfield is set back. He's going to be healthy, and he's a baller. So I really think the Bucks they're gonna be solid. Another team could be higher than 19 when we're all said and done. At 18, this is where I have the Jets. Yeah, they still have talent. You said it. They definitely lost some guys and have some, suspect patch jobs in right now. Um, but yeah, I think it's a solid defense still. And, head coach, they got Aaron Glenn, defensive oriented coach. I think that'll help too. Um, but yeah, they're the Jets, so Nothing too crazy. Got them at 18.
That's entirely fair. So I'll move on to my 17 through 13 here, and starting that off is the Cowboys at 17, a team that was terrible defensively last year, absolutely awful. But they're helping Micah Parsons out a little bit with some reinforcements, bringing in a few more guys on the line. The big question mark that can move them up, down, around, anywhere is Trayvon Diggs. How does he recover from his injury? I mean, I'll be completely honest. I'm not super high on Trayvon Diggs as a every down corner, being a lockdown corner, I should say. He makes a lot of big plays, though. And for this Dallas Cowboys defense, turnovers are something that they have relied on a lot for the past few years. So
Yep.
Diggs helps that. They're probably still going to give up a shit ton of yards no matter what. That's just kind of how they operate. But I think they'll be much better than last year. And they've got Micah Parsons. So that's enough said.
Uh,
Hey,
Sorry.
man. I don't appreciate that he's with the Cowboys, but I gotta respect that man always.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a dog.
yeah. Coming in at 16, another NFC East team in the Giants. Um, Honestly, don't hate their defense. I really don't. Uh, they're getting a healthy Dexter Lawrence back. They've already had Brian Burns, already had Kayvon
Yep.
Thibodeau, and then they go and add the freak that is Abdul Carter to that combination. I mean, that is scary. That's scary. So I think they're going to
It
be
really is.
pretty defense, and their offense should be a little better than last year. Help out the defense as well. Regardless of who's back there, I'm not a big Russ guy anymore. I am someone who thinks he's a bit washed at this point. Um, but he's going to be better than what Daniel Jones was giving them. So 15 is where I've got the Patriots slotting in. I think they're going to be a little better than what they were. I agree, maybe not a huge jump, but 15's not bad. Vrabel coming in, I think, is definitely going to help.
Yep.
You mentioned, Christian Gonzalez there, but they also signed Milton Williams, who was great for the Eagles last year. They paid him a fuck ton of money, so he better be decent. Um, and then also signed Carlton Davis from the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I mean, Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, that's not a bad cornerback pairing right there. You had
for
Milton
real.
Williams in the middle. That's a big boy, big boy. So
Levels, see? Levels. Gotta have them at levels.
yeah, so I think they could be decent. So I got them in here at 15. 14, I got the Chargers. Um, Excuse me. There's not a lot changed there, really. They are letting Joey Bosa go, but that's fine. He's missed like 25 games due to injury the past 3 years, and he hasn't been a force even when on the field recently.
Yeah.
Re-signed Khalil Mack, but boy's 34. He's getting old.
Yeah.
Um,
Got a bag too.
he
Hell of an
did get a
agent.
bag. Yeah, exactly. But how much can they really do? The thing I think that will help them is playing in Jim Harbaugh's style team,
Yep.
and they like to run the ball a lot. So that's a lot of time off the clock. So that'll help the defense quite a bit. 13, that's where I got the Bears coming in. They should be getting Jaquan Brisker back, who missed all of last season after week 5 with a concussion. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but he was very important to their defense. They're also hiring Dennis Allen as their defensive coordinator and got Ben Johnson coming in as a head coach. I think they're going to do all right. So I got them slotting in at 13.
Nice. So for me at 17, I also have the Cowboys here. You summed it up very well. They got some playmakers. I think there will be improvement from last year, probably for the team as a whole. Um, but yeah, I don't think it moves the needle too much. They are prone to giving up yards. They are prone to blowing games. They are prone to giving up points. So, as good as the stats can be, as good as the defensive touchdowns can be, it's not that great of a defense. So got them at 17. At 16, this is where I have the Bears. I agree. I mean, it's a solid defensive group. Um, I think it's going to take a few weeks to put everything together with all the coordinator changes. So I could see a slow start for them, but it's hopefully going to be a classic Bears defense. And if that's the case, I have them way too low. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely got some good pieces there. At 15, this is where I have the Chargers, and you didn't glaze a certain someone, and I was really hoping you would. Derwin James. I friggin' love that guy. He is amazing. Definitely my favorite safety in the league. He does everything, and he is just a playmaker. I love his energy, and I feel like he just fuels that whole defense. And Harbaugh, I think one of the better defensive coaches in the league, definitely helps. So got the Chargers there at 15, slightly better than the halfway point. So we're getting juicy. At 14, this is where I have the Browns. A team, when I did do some research before we filmed this episode, holy crap, did people have this Browns team low? Like, I'm talking high 20s and like just craziness. Like, they have Miles Garrett, man, and they have one of the best corners in the league. Like, what are we doing? It's crazy. But yeah, the Browns, I think, are going to be solid defensively. Offense is a huge question mark. Maybe kind of like we were saying earlier, offenses may be affecting this. Might have the defense in some bad spots, but yeah, I mean, they got a lot of talent on defense. And at 13, I have the Seahawks coming in. Seahawks, really good team, a team that could be higher than this. Really good secondary, also very young, um, and got a decent D line to boot. So, yeah, it's a solid defense.
Yeah. I don't mind that at all. And yeah, I decided to give my Chargers camera time to Khalil Mack instead. I saw that boy when he was at Buffalo, actually. So I've been a fan
Oh,
of his
really?
for yeah, been a fan of his for
I
a
didn't
while.
know
So
that.
wanted to give him my camera
Oh,
time.
he's one of my favorites, dude. When the
Yeah.
Bears got him, I almost cried. And then
hmm
he owned the Packers his first game, got a pick six against Rodgers, and they were just destroying the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers comes back in the fourth and beats them. And I was devastated. But that is just classic Bears.
That is classic Aaron Rodgers against Bears for
Right,
sure.
right.
It's also really crazy to think that Khalil Mack is 34 years old, dude. 34.
It
We are
is.
getting old.
Yeah,
That's just crazy. Um,
it really is.
yeah. So anyways, so moving on to my number 12. That's where I got the Chiefs coming in. Just always solid. And Steve, the big thing here, Nick Bolton's great. So just gonna throw that out there. And also Steve Spagnuolo, fantastic coach.
Yep.
So he is really, really great. I'm not quite sure that the talent really lines up with where they always ranking in defense. This might even be a bit low, to be honest. But I've got a lot of faith in Steve Spagnuolo as a coach.
Yeah.
11, I got the Bills. I mentioned earlier that they switched out Brandon Stevens as the cornerback too, so they improved that there for sure. And they also signed Joey Bosa. Who knows what they're getting there? If he can become a Von Miller type guy later in his career, I think it's pretty clear he's not going to be quite as effective as Von was, even if at this point in his career. But if he can, stay healthy and be the part of the player he used to be, because he used to be a force, and that's going to really help their defense. And also brought in Larry Ogunjobi, so I think they'll be pretty solid. But as you mentioned earlier, all these teams up top, they're all pretty freaking decent. So it
Yeah.
just gets really tough, and the margins are tight. Um, at 10, got the Packers. It's about what they were, ish last year if you compare a lot of things, and they're basically the same on defense. They cut Jair Alexander, but he wasn't really a part of that defense last year anyways, so not much is changing there. So got him at 10. Number 9, that's where I got the Steelers coming in. I think that it's going to be interesting. Joey Porter Jr. was one of my breakout selection players last year, and it was just so wrong. He was one of the worst rated corners out of all eligible corners in the NFL. He's going to be their cornerback one. Then you got Darius Slay looking like, you know, cornerback two, and it kind of seems like Ramsey's going to move back to play safety in this Steelers defense. You know, not sure how I feel about that secondary, but they have TJ Watt. So
Yes.
that's kind of a very important
Yes.
thing. And they're also the Steelers. They never have a terrible, terrible defense, especially when Mike Tomlin is there. And even before, it's always been the steel curtain. So honestly, just like
Right.
never. So got them coming in at 9. 8, that's where I got the Browns coming in because I agree with you. People are just
Nice.
crazy to put them as low as that. That's ridiculous. They got Myles Garrett, they got Denzel Ward, and they also added an interior defensive guy that's very important in Mason
Yeah.
Graham with their
Mason
first round
Graham.
pick. So
Yep.
I just don't understand. Sure, their offense will probably put them in some bad spots, but honestly, can it be as bad as last year, no matter who they decide to run out there at quarterback? Bro, seriously, if they grow the cojones to roll Joe Flacco out there, they could be decent. I'm so
Oh yeah.
serious. They
I
could be
know.
decent. And like they might want to try to tank for a lack of a better term and throw either Shadur or Dylan Gabriel out there, who knows? But if they've got the balls to start Joe Flacco, they might be okay, honestly, because he looked good last year. He really did.
Really. I
Um,
agree. And let me just say, they better not pick Pickett. Like,
I didn't
come
even
on.
mention him. I didn't even mention him in the
Yeah,
conversation, dude.
I know. I know. And that's why I thought of it, because it would just be a wild Cleveland Browns curve. And yeah,
It
it
might make
shouldn't
too much
surprise
sense for the
us,
Browns.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. But I mean, geez. But yeah, good take. I'm liking the Browns too. And good shout on Mason Graham. I think that's one of the best players in this draft. So that was a good move. But for me, coming in at 12, this is where I have the Rams. And you brought some good points up with the Rams. The cornerbacks are a little sketchy, but I really like what they're doing with that D line. A lot of good young talent. Had some rookies perform amazingly last year in Verse and Fisk.
Jared Verse was
Uh,
very, very good.
yeah, and Fisk was also solid too. And yeah, I think their linebackers are fine too. They're really just missing a piece in the secondary, um, which is important. But hey, we know D line is a cornerback's best friend, so I think it'll help them that way. It's also always a steadily good offense, a team that can win time of possession, game in, game out, and yeah, that all helps the defense out.
My boy Matty
But
Stafford, baby.
yeah, holding it down. But yeah, at 11, I have the Packers here. I'm not going to spend too much time on them because you pretty much nailed it. Pretty much the same team, and it was very good defense last year, and I think it'll be much the same. Coming in at 10, I have Steelers here, mostly for the same reasons you said. It's just the Steelers, man. You're an ass if you have them like out of the top 15, which is probably where they should be when you just look at the roster. It's getting
Mm-hmm.
old. TJ Watt, uh, very injury prone, but I mean, obviously one of the best in the league when he's playing. But yeah, it's the Steelers, so I'm not falling for that. They're gonna be top 10, so have them there at 10. Coming in at number 9, this is where I have the Giants. I think the defense is phenomenal. I really do. The D line, you said it. I mean, they got 5 pieces, so that goal line defense gonna be stupid. But yeah, it's really nice. They also added Holland for the secondary. It's a solid defense, and I think it'll keep them in a lot of games. I could see their record being around 500, but winnable games, it's going to be most of them. Hot takes.
That is
Coming
that
in
is
at number 8. Yeah, coming in at number 8, this is where I have the Chiefs. I mean, now we're getting to the point, like I said, guys at every level. We got Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, you got McDuffie, you got a little bit of star power at every level. And yeah, I mean, you said it, Spagnuolo, amazing. He is peanut butter to Andy Reid's jelly. I mean, it is just a beautiful thing they have going. I hate to say it, because I'm so sick of them. Shout out Birds for stopping that shit. But yeah, it's a good defense, and it's going to be probably as long as he's their coordinator, and they're just really good at keeping talent at this point. When you have a guy like Mahomes, it just attracts talent. Once you have it, it's rare to see them leave. So they're bringing back a lot of good defensive players.
Yeah, I mean they're competing for chips most years, so
Right,
it's hard to
exactly.
leave that, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, now we're getting close to the top here. It's getting exciting. So my number seven, this is where I have the Seahawks coming in. I've got them
Nice. I
good bit
respect
higher
that.
than you, but their D line was good. Their defense was pretty good last year. They added Demarcus Lawrence. I like it. Could be a bit of a question mark. Could be a bit of a wild card there, but I like it. It's also year two of Mike McDonald's team, so can expect some more improvements in year two of his scheme there. They also added Nick Emanwari, which I think is a very good addition for them. Help him out in the secondary a little bit. He's extremely athletic. I think that's something that they needed there. So I've got them coming in at seven. Now, six is where I've got the Lions at. They were a very, very good defense prior to being injury ravaged last year. Now they are losing, like, aforementioned Carlton Davis. Emmanuel Mosley's leaving, but he never really saw the field, so it's fine. But we're getting so many players back from injury, man. Derek Barnes, Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, Amik Robertson. Those are some very, very big returns. And on top of that, we added Tyleik Williams in the draft, which should help improve our already pretty amazing run game, allowing less than 100 yards per game last year. So add him. I mean, that's pretty solid. So I'm excited. Got them at six. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see them higher either.
Mm.
Um, Number five, another NFC North team here. Kind of pained me to do this, but I got the Vikings coming in at five. Always a solid team. Always a solid team, man. And they also added Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. I'm a very big Javon Hargrave guy myself, so I
Yeah.
think they're gonna be even better. At number four, this is where I have the Texans coming in. Just a really, really solid defense. I mean, in the secondary, you got Lassiter and Derek Stingley. Will Anderson is an absolute force. D'Amico Ryan's a very, very defensive-minded coach, so I think they're just going to be really, really great. And then coming in at number three is where I've got the Eagles. Consistently good defense all around, but they did have some losses this year that I'm not sure
Mhm.
they'll be able to completely cover. I mean, oh boy, three, so scary. But I think that those are what prevent them from being one or two for me.
Totally fair. Uh, for me at seven, this is where I have the Bills. Um, just another team I feel like very consistent the last frickin' I don't know, 7 years. They've had one of the top defenses in the league, and they added to the D line, a position that kind of needed help with Vaughn just not really panning out. Um, but they do have shit. I'm literally blanking on the dude's name. Who's their one edge rush? But anyway, um, they did add in the draft to the D line, as you mentioned. They got three pieces in the draft, and they added Bosa. But it's always a defensive team that's pretty steady. Rousseau, that's his name,
Oh,
pretty sure. Yeah. But he's a dog, and he's a dog. I forgot his name, but he is a dog. But they added to it, and I like their linebackers backers a lot. Matt Milano's awesome. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be a solid defense, kind of what we've seen the last few years. Coming in at six, this is where I have the Lions as well. I'm not gonna spend much time here. You kind of nailed it. Uh, Healthy, they should be coming in healthy this year, and it's a good defense and it's a strong offense, which always helps a defense. So I think that's a good spot for them there for now. But as you mentioned, could even get better for them. And coming in at five, this is also where I have the Vikings. Again, you nailed it. Jonathan Allen, they got Hargrave, and they didn't really lose much, and it's just a really good defense. It's definitely going to need to carry them this year if they want success, especially making playoffs and, dreaming that big. But yeah, defense is going to be solid for sure. Coming in at number four, this is where I have the Ravens. Um, Very good defensive team, but last year had some really bad stats in certain categories, like their secondary, yards given up, things like that. That kind of alarmed me, especially considering how run heavy their offense was. Like they should be owning time of possession. They really shouldn't be at the bottom of the league in any yards given up. But that being said, they did have the lead in most of their games, so teams are going to throw. And I mean, you know that as a defense, so that's kind of tit for tat. But yeah, certainly you're going to give up more passing yards if you're playing way ahead. Coming in at number three, this is where I have the Texans. Um, yeah, great secondary, as you mentioned, and they did add CJGJ, which I think he is another important piece. And as you mentioned, the D
Championship
line
hunter.
phenomenal as well. Yeah, he really is. And for the D line, another guy you didn't mention, Danielle Hunter, phenomenal. Think he's one of the best. I mean, to have that duo with Anderson, that's filthy. And then, as you mentioned, D'Amico Ryans as coach for all of this, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And one more thing I want to add about the Lions is for those that have them ranked lower, just for one, because they're Lions, and two, the one I want to address here is Aaron Glenn leaving. I'm not worried about it. Sorry, Jets fans. I think we might be better without him. So I've stated that before on the pod, and I will
Yeah.
maintain that position till proven otherwise. Um,
Honestly, based on Hard Knocks alone, I'm with you.
yeah. Yeah.
Was not impressed.
Yeah. So now the top two. Uh,
Which they are different. That rarely happens, I feel like.
yeah, they are different. I'm thinking unless you homered, I'm thinking our number one's going to be the same, and it's number two that's
Yeah.
different. But
Yeah.
so anyways, my number two is the Ravens. So you brought up a lot of valid concerns there, but they had a rough year last year, and I could
I
be
did.
overestimating them by a few spots, maybe, but I think they're going to get back to the excellence that they were. Their main problem was one player. His name is Marcus Williams. I'm sorry for calling you out here, but safety. After they benched him mid-season, somewhere in there, they were a top five defense the rest of the way.
Oh.
So they got rid
And
of the
now
problem.
they have Starks to pair with Hamilton now. So
Exactly.
safety should be solid.
Yep. So I think that they're going to return to form here this year, which leaves the Denver Broncos at number one. I mean, a team that was already just an insane defense, and they had a better offense than expected with Bo Nix last year. They also went and got Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga and Jade Barron in the draft in the first round. This defense just got better off of what already was an amazing defense, and I think that they are going to do very, very well.
Well put. Yeah. For me at number two, I did not homer. We got the Eagles coming in here. Um, yeah. You brought up some points. They did lose some talent, but I mean, this team is still just very stacked with talent. One of the most alarming stats I saw recently was last year the Eagles had a what they call like a light box, so you weren't stacking the box to stop the run. Only four down linemen, two linebackers, like weak box. They did that like 68% of the snaps, and we were top five in yards against the run. So, like to have a run defense that good with that little guys, and that's all Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. But yeah, to have that, then you can worry about the pass. You can have another guy for the secondary, and that does volumes for your team. And to have game wreckers like Jalen Carter and I guess Jordan Davis, because once I saw this stat, I was like, damn. I mean, he does kind of operate in silence. He's eating bodies or trying to. They're really trying to get the bodies on Carter, but I mean, he tries his best to eat bodies, and he does pretty good at it. But this team is still stacked. They lost a lot of talent, but they don't even they don't touch the Broncos. They don't. The Broncos are phenomenal, and as you said, they got even better. I mean, the additions they added were insane. To get Greenlaw, Hufanga, I mean, what the heck, man? This I can't believe they use a first round pick for defense.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
You
This
still got
team
Pat
is
Surtain,
stacked.
just and
Surtain, Zach Allen.
yeah.
I mean, they're getting even Alex Singleton is coming back, baby. Which I mean, that doesn't move the needle much for me, but the team is healthy, or they're going to be healthy to start the year. And yeah, the talent is just unmatched as far as defenses go. I feel like this was far and away. I mean, we're talking they're in their own tier, in my opinion. And then you're talking Eagles, Texans, Ravens, and all that. But yeah, shout out Broncos. Holy crap. Please win the division.
Oh, winning the division. Oh my goodness.
Please.
That would be
Please.
honestly not totally out of the realm. It's the Chiefs division until it isn't, but the Broncos are a team that could do it with that defense, and Bo Nix takes a year two leap instead of a year two slump. That's going to be important
Right.
right there. Um, they could.
Definitely.
I could see it. I could see it. But they've got your Raiders to contend against, so better watch out.
Brother.
Bro, it's never going away, ever. I'm never letting you forget about that. Um, anyways, what do you want to talk about here? To be honest, after we got halfway, there wasn't anything that was too crazy. I mean, I had Seahawks at
No.
7. You had them at 13, which isn't
13.
like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Um,
Yeah.
Patriots I
Yeah,
had at
honest.
15, you at 23. I think
Right.
that's a fairly sizable difference there.
That is, and honestly, full disclosure, forgot about Carlton Davis, which totally I would have moved him up a little bit because you get that second corner. Obviously, Birds fan remembered Milton Williams. Did mention Christian Gonzalez, but yeah, I did forget about Carlton Davis. But you get that second piece at corner that does do a lot for your defense. I did mention I think Vrabl's great. Think he's definitely going to right the ship there. Actually, quite annoyed that he's there because we barely had the Pats sucking, and they're going to be back. I'm telling you. But yeah,
Not right away.
definitely not right away though. Yeah, and that's why I have them a little lower, and just because my dumbass forgot their roster. But yeah, but,
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
but
Um,
I still don't mind them at 23 for now. So I'll stand by it. But want to be honest, did forget about Carlton Davis.
that's entirely fair. There were definitely some guys that I
Another
forgot
one we got to
about.
talk more about, Dolphins,
Yep.
because you I had them at 31, which I might be crazy, but I don't know. I just really don't see the talent on that team. And with all this drama and stuff going on, it feels collapsy to me.
Yeah, I mean that's I could see it playing out like that, but if their offense stays healthy, they are pretty good. I mean, in our coaches ranking episode, I kind of talked about this a lot, but I lost a lot of faith in Mike McDaniel as a coach with
Yeah,
how they performed without Tua last year. But if they have
right.
Tua, they're decent, and they got
Well, and
Minka. You know,
to your point there too, like I'm continuing to lose faith in him because of the status of that locker room right now. It seems like a mess. And maybe I'm hyping it, but I feel like everything I see and hear it's just bad shit going down.
yeah. I mean, it
And
certainly doesn't
And they
sound
got
good.
some I mean, every team has some divas, but I mean, they definitely got them too, and I just feel like it's falling apart for sure.
It's Miami, man. It's meant to be. They're meant to have divas. Um, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think they're gonna be good. I mean, I had them in the back half, but I really don't think that they're gonna be 31 bad. Maybe
Yeah.
25. I'll give you
Where
25.
did you have them?
19. Had them at 19.
19.
Like,
Okay.
I'll give you 25. Maybe meet you in the middle, but 31. I just think there's so many worse teams defensively than them that just really don't have anything going for them. I mean, in a world where the Bengals, as you mentioned, they don't even have Hendrickson re-signed to an extension yet. If he
Yeah.
doesn't play, they're gonna be awful. He's the
Oh
only thing
yeah.
that gave them
Yeah.
anything
Which
last
I
year.
which I have them at 30, so it's
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
Another one I wanted to talk to you about is the Titans, which I'm pretty sure we had them relatively close to each other, but I wanted your thoughts on kind of what I said when I went through it, which was statistically last year they were really good in a number of metrics. And I'm wondering if you too think that was kind of fluky, or maybe teams just kind of coasting to the finish line against them, or what was going on there?
Well, I think it was a game that they weren't afraid that the offense was going to catch up, so they were okay running the ball a little earlier than they may have against other teams,
Yeah,
and that was good enough for them. They
just
didn't
tick
need,
the clock,
yeah, exactly.
run that clock.
Get the
Yeah.
game over with, and their secondary is awful. So if teams really
Yeah,
wanted to take
they got
advantage of that
Sneed.
for longer, they could have, I think. So
Yeah, only
uh,
guy I can think of is Sneed for the secondary.
yeah.
So yeah, I support that claim because honestly, I feel like he's kind of overhyped too.
Yeah, I don't disagree. They could 31 might be a little low for them. That's where I had them on my list, but I don't think they'll be much better. And while I think that their offense will be improved from where they were at last year, I don't think it's going to be insane in year one of Cam Ward. So we'll see. I could see I could see a lot of turnovers coming out of Cam Ward too. So I think that
Mm,
could really hurt the defense.
yeah,
I
he
think he's
kind of
gonna be
gives Winston
slinging.
vibes.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
Yeah,
be slinging. That's just the vibe I have right now. And turnovers hurt defenses, especially when they're in your own half of the field. So there's that.
yes, very true. Other than that, any other kind of things you want to talk about?
Nah, I felt like man, this one was just really difficult. You got to think about an
It really
entire
was.
side of the ball here, the 11 guys, sometimes, it's
Yeah.
really more than 11 because especially on the D line, you're rotating a lot.
Right.
So that's just a lot of guys to compare. And as you mentioned earlier, it's a lot of the top teams have guys and, safety, corner, linebackers, D line, but it's just small
Yeah.
margins. And as you mentioned, with the Dolphins having not a lot of it, but team chemistry really matters too, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that
Very
played into
true.
account in some of my rankings. But I think that's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with that. I just another quick shout out. Niners suck, and I like where we got them. Y'all
Yeah.
need to chill. You need to chill.
Yeah, 26 49ers for me. Lower than I thought I was going to put them when I started my list, to be honest with you. But with that, we'll leave off with 49ers suck. Um, another
Yes.
episode of Palm City Chucks. Please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And we'll talk to you again next week. See you, everybody.
Later, PCC.